shin
I didn't say
is a
to
category.
anyone.
Do I have a shin?
Of course you do.
Does a cow have a shin?
Of course you do.
Does Allah have a shin?
Allah has it, but it's not like.
There you
what
go.
said.
Allah has the category of shin. He shares that category with created things. The hadith say Allah is not like anything you can think or imagine. So what you just said is not what Allah is. Do you see?
Yes.
Does Allah see?
Yes.
Did you just compare?
No, but it's not. That's not the same thing.
Why is it not?
It's not.
In what way is Allah's vision different to your vision?
I don't know.
And yet the Quran claims to be clear guidance. How can you be clear guidance if the language that you're guiding with is totally meaningless? Do you see the contradiction?
No, it's
Do you
not
see the double standard?
It's not.
Do you see the
It's
double
not.
standard?
Why would a god try to be like something he created?
Right.
He's a god. Why would, if I would be, I don't know, a prime minister. Prime minister.
One second, bro. The question is not why. That's not the question. The question is can he? And according to Islamic
Yes.
sources, he can.
Yeah, he can.
Do you agree?
Yes, yes, he can.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
You heard that, Dawagandists?
but-
God can become a man.
Yeah, but
Great
Allah
stuff.
In Islam, Allah can do whatever he wants.
Now we've
Okay.
Great, go on.
But
Yeah.
Allah have, he's a god.
Right?
So why would he be his
Okay.
creation?
Now that we've
It's
established,
not about, if he can.
Brilliant.
In Islam, whatever God wants,
that is
he
a
can
fair question. And because we've established that God can, it's now fair for us to address the question of why would he? So let me answer that question. Because the vision of our God and the vision of your God are very different.
Well, what's your faith, if you don't mind my asking?
Christian.
Okay, so
Yeah.
why do you
Well,
think,
one second. Let me deal with your first question, and then I'll deal with your second question. I assure. Let me answer your first. I'll answer your second. So our vision of God is very different from your vision of God. The essential characteristic, it really is. The essential characteristic of our God, the true God, is love, and the essential characteristic of Allah is power, sovereignty. Now, in our faith, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that because I think it is. Al-Maliki, remember? Now, in terms of love, I don't know, you've got people in your life you love, I'm sure, right? Like the people that you love most in this world. Am I right in thinking that there ain't nothing that you would do for them, obviously apart from blaspheming against Allah or insulting Allah, but in terms of normal things, is there any pain or hardship for the benefit of your family, your children or your wife that you wouldn't go through? Exactly. So if you love, you're willing to do the undignified, is that correct? So let's imagine, do a thought experiment with me. Let's imagine you go on to Colombia on holiday and some gang kidnaps your wife and says, we'll let her go, but only if you humiliate yourself in public. Would you humiliate yourself in public to get your wife back?
Yes.
There you go. So love allows you to do things that are not worthy of your dignity, agreed?
But where does, I don't know where you're trying to get to, but...
I think everyone else managed to put together. Did you hear? Did you? Everybody else understood?
I don't want to answer something, I might give you the wrong
Right.
impression.
So let
So
me...
you're saying Islam asks for people to humiliate themselves?
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm saying,
So
elaborate your question.
You really got to pay attention to what I'm saying then. Because what I'm saying is, remember the question you asked me, why would God become a man? And we say that God would become a man because he loves you and he loves me enough to become a man. You say no?
No, there's no.
Yeah.
Because life to us is a test, right?
According to Islam, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure in Christianity it's a test as well.
It's more than that, but go on.
What is it about? Tell me.
Right, I'll tell you. The point of life as a Christian is that through our lives we glorify God. That's the point of your life. Your life is here for one reason, to give God his glory.
Not really, no.
It's not an examination.
Have you read the Quran?
No, wait 1 second. Because I'm not talking about the Quran. You're asking me about Christianity. I'm saying to you in Christianity, your life isn't a test. Your life is an opportunity. an opportunity given to you as a gift by God to glorify Him. He's not standing there as heaven's sharp judicious judge to mark down what you hear do amiss. He's not here to catch you out because you didn't fulfill that fetish of his or that fetish of his. He's here to give you an opportunity to glorify Him with your life. That's not what you said. You said in Islam, life is a test. Now, because my answer sounds better than yours, you want to steal my answer for Islam. But you didn't say that a minute ago, and it's on camera.
Life is a test.
No, it isn't.
It is.
Not according
It's
to
about what
Christianity.
you do. I'm not talking about the prayers and stuff. 80% of the Quran is just about lifestyle. Don't steal. Don't lie. Am I wrong?
Yes.
It's not. Am I wrong?
Yes.
So you haven't read it then?
No, I have.
If you're saying the Quran is not right in that aspect, then you're,
The
I'm pretty
Quran
sure.
makes mention to Allah's eyes, by the way.
Can we get the verse for him?
So this is Surah 11, Ayah 37.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
You can read the first
So Surah 11, Ayah 37, and build the ark under our watchful eyes.
and the context is
So
Allah.
you just said that in Islam we don't compare Allah to created things, but Allah has just
we don't,
compared
yeah,
Himself to
but-
created things. Do you have eyes?
Yeah, but I'm
Does
saying,
Allah have eyes?
Yes.
There you go.
But you don't compare him as a human being.
Right. So hold
You
on.
don't compare Allah as a human
So
being.
you're saying His eyes are not like our eyes?
No.
Right.
It's a metaphor for seeing.
A metaphor. So you're an Ashari. Al-Ashari.
Actually,
You know the Salafists in the park say it's not a metaphor.
it's a metaphor. Eyes. When I say
Not all
when I
Muslims
say-
agree with that. Not all Muslims agree with that. They're upset. Once the Salafist is correcting the Al-Shari because Islam doesn't have a consistent theology about Allah. Doesn't have a consistent theology about Allah. Muslims come to the park every week trying to attack Christian doctrine, saying it's inconsistent. But yet, the reason why they've stopped talking to me and to one another is because Muslims can't agree about what it means when it says Allah has eyes.
Basic is that.
So after your little council, have you decided whether he's got eyes or
No,
not?
they agree with me.
Has he got eyes
But
or
they're
not?
saying you're going off topic. You're going off topic.
Does he have eyes?
Eyes in terms of seeing, you're thinking like eyeballs.
I didn't say that.
That's what you're saying. You're
I
saying
didn't
eyes.
say that. I did not say eyeballs.
So you know when you say eyes, what does it mean? Go on.
Exactly.
No.
No,
I'm
this is
asking
the
you.
point. This is the
You're
point.
trying to get the answer of
We
me.
agreed. I know
So
I'm sexy, but I don't swing that
Listen,
way. You got to keep your hands to
You're
yourself.
saying
Yeah.
Allah have eyes as in the same as a human being.
Says the man standing
But you
here.
can't compare Allah to a human being. You
Right,
can't.
brilliant.
You can't.
So did you all hear that,
He
ladies
sees-
and gentlemen?
Yes, he sees our action. He's
Do
probably
you see?
watching-
Do you
he's
see?
definitely watching us now.
Do you see?
Yes.
Does Allah see?
Yes.
Did you just compare?
No, but it's not. That's not the same thing.
Why is it not?
It's not.
In what way is Allah's vision different to your vision?
I don't know.
You
He
don't know.
created me. I didn't create him. He
Exactly.
created
So
me.
this gets to my point, bro. What's your name, by the way?
AJ.
AJ. AJ. Okay, AJ, firstly, I want to thank you for a very polite, passionate conversation. I appreciate it. That's
You're
what
very
Speaker's Corner is meant to be about.
100%.
Thank you very much. And I thank you for your conduct and the way you
Yeah,
conduct
but
yourself.
there's some arguments you still need to.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Oh, we haven't finished.
No, because I was only leading you to the sucker punch. Here's the sucker punch, right? If you're saying that anything we can think or imagine is not Allah, then when we talk about Allah's attributes, his eyes or his hands, he's not listening, so I'll talk to you guys, his eyes or his hands or his feet, then that means that that language is utterly meaningless language. And yet the Quran claims to be clear guidance. How can you be clear guidance if the language that you're guiding with is totally meaningless?
That's your opinion.
Now, so, would you like to jump into the conversation?
No. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I was showing you something. But
Of course, you weren't listening. So let me repeat it for you again.
Sure.
According to the hadiths, Allah is not like anything you can think or imagine. True. So I'm not lying about Islam right now, am I?
No.
Telling the truth, being fair.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Great. But just think about the logical consequence of saying that. If you're saying Allah is not like anything you can think or imagine, then when the Quran says Allah has eyes like it does, then that word doesn't mean anything. Because what does eyes mean?
It means he can see.
But
That's the thing.
But that's some.
You're thinking about something physical.
Do you think? No, hold on. Do you? When you said you can see, would you agree that what you've just done there is had a thought and imagine?
Yeah, but it's
There
not
you
like-
go.
But yeah, but it's not like something you can imagine.
There you go. Now listen.
No, what he means, as in whatever you imagine is wrong.
Exactly.
Yes.
And do you think that vision, seeing, is something that you can think and imagine? Right. So Allah's eyes are not
Okay.
that.
Okay.
So what does it mean to say Allah has eyes? Because it's not what you just said.
Yeah, but then look, what I'm trying to say is you're thinking about eyes, okay?
No,
I know someone
you
can
said
be-
it.
I know
You said vision,
I know
not me.
I know someone can be seeing me right now, but I don't see them. But that doesn't mean they can't see me.
Hold on. Did you just think and imagine that scenario?
No, I'm just saying.
Right, but the hadiths say.
Technically, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, technically.
So
It's like someone watching.
exactly. So hadiths have just
But I
told.
don't know what that person looks like.
Brother, AJ. The hadiths say it's Allah is not like anything you can think or imagine. So what you just said is not what Allah is. His eyes are not what you've just said.
No.
So try again. What does it mean when it says Allah has eyes?
It means he's like someone watching you.
Someone
It's
watching
like
you.
someone watching you.
Can you think or imagine someone watching you?
Yeah, that means you have to be careful with your actions.
Right,
You
so
have to know.
it's not like someone watching you
It
then.
is, no, 100%.
So-
go back to your.
So those hadiths that say, and Islamic teachers that teach you that Allah is not like what you can think or imagine,
Oh,
they're
see,
wrong.
No. When
They're
God
wrong.
said that, when the hadith that says that God is.
You know
not-
it exists.
Yeah, no, we know,
And,
100%.
and in the Quran it also says the same, doesn't it?
Do you believe your God exists?
Yes, of course.
Can you see him?
We believe in the beatific vision, yeah.
Do you think he sees you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, that's the same concept.
Right, now, no,
Same
hold on one
concept.
second. No, it
It's the
isn't.
same concept.
Now let me...
You can't see him, but he can see you.
Let me explain why that
the
is
same
not
concept.
the same concept.
Go on.
Let me explain why it is not the same concept. Because in the Christian faith, we believe that there are two touch points of reference in our discourse about God. The fact that we are made in the image of God, and the fact that God became a man in Jesus Christ. Which means that when we talk about God's vision, or God's hands, or God's feet, we have a point of reference in the created world
Yeah, but that's
to
what you
make.
think.
Yes, and I'm explaining why it's different from what you're saying. Because you tried to defend Islam by saying we have the same concept, which only shows you don't know what Christianity teaches. Because we don't have the same concept. We have a radically different concept from Islam. We say that we are made in the image of God, that God became a man, and so we can speak meaningfully about God's vision, God's sight, God's hands, God's heart, God's love. But in Islam, you have this contradictory teaching. On one hand, you're told in the Quran and Hadiths that Allah is not like anything that you can think or imagine. But on the next side is the contradiction, which says that Allah has eyes, and Allah has hands, and Allah has sight,
Yeah, but that
and
means he
Allah
sees.
has heart. What does that mean to see?
It's the same concept saying your God looks at you.
Did you all hear that? The same concept.
No, wait.
The same concept.
Yes.
But you just said
Do you
it's
see your
not
God?
the
Do you
same
see-
concept.
Okay, do you see your God right now?
Did you
Do you
understand?
see your God right now? Do you see him?
What eyes does Allah have?
Do you see your God? Do you see your God right now?
Ubicadito se temo Deus ibi est. Where there is love, there is God.
What eyes does Allah have?
Where we see the energia of love, we see the activity of God.
It's the same.
Right?
It's the same.
No,
If your God
it really isn't.
I'm not.
Go on.
If you're saying your God sees everything, right? He's watching you now, no?
Yeah.
Can you see him?
No. But we see the energia of God. Now let me just explain to you what you did. Right? And bro, there's no point denying it because we can do a flashback on the camera. When I pressed you, I know you're not.
I'm still on the same.
You are a decent human being. I'm having a decent conversation with you, yeah? And I appreciate it. I genuinely do. Right? But you said, and maybe it was a slip of the tongue, when I pressed you about what does vision mean, you said it's the same concept when we were comparing what you said about human vision to Allah's vision.
No. I meant The same way your God sees you, my God sees me. I don't see him, but he sees me.
Right. But bro, when we say as Christians, God sees us, we are talking about something that is a facsimile to our vision. Why? Because we are created in the image of God. So that language means something in our religion,
But I think
but your religion, because of this principle that is not like anything you can think or imagine, means that the eyes, hands are all meaningless terms. Meaningless terms.
when we say God is nothing you can imagine, we mean physically, the way he looks.
Ah,
It means you can't imagine way he looks.
so God has a shape.
You don't know, it's nothing you can imagine. See, you're going back to the physical aspect.
One second.
What he
Yeah,
looks
go on.
like.
Yeah.
But we don't know. There's nothing you can imagine. That's what they mean by it's nothing like you imagine.
In the
Or
Quran,
think of.
in the Quran it says that no vision can encompass him, but he encompasses all vision, and that on the day of resurrection, some of the believers will have their face brightened to see their Lord. Agreed?
Which
Do you need me to show you?
yes.
Right. It also says in the Quran, sorry, the Hadith. It says on the day of judgment that everything that a person worships will come to him in a shape, and they will follow what they worship. So the people that worship the moon will follow the moon. The people that worship the cross will follow the cross. And then Allah will come to his people in a shape, and they'll say,
no.
this is what your
I need
hadith
to see
say.
the hadith.
Can we try and find the hadith about the judgment?
That's a mad hadith.
So, yeah, it is a mad hadith, and it's in your hadith.
No, but you have to see credibility. Knowledge.
I'll show it you. I wasn't lying before, I'm not lying now. I've done this for 6 years. I've shown this hadith to people. Can we find the Allah coming in a shape on Judgment Day? It's quite a long hadith,
I
right?
have to dip soon though.
Okay, so my point to you is that the Quran is saying, sorry, the hadiths are saying that Allah does have a shape. Right, can we pull it up?
No.
Gonna show you. Right? Here we go. So it's in, does it give the reference?
You know what? I can read Arabic, so show me the Arabic a bit.
There you go. It's somewhere down here. Somewhere down at the bottom.
Do you mind?
All right. It wasn't my phone to give you.
Oh, sorry.
Henry was a king, and your prophet's supposed to be the best example for all mankind.
It's only in
all
the past
time.
couple
Remember,
hundred
he's the
years
last
that
one.
age has been advanced. It's only in the past couple hundred years.
Now you're an honest man, AJ. So when you get to the bit that says he comes in a shape,
I mean, if I believed in Muhammad, I would say yes, he's seen the prophet. Is Muhammad a seen the prophet? My point is, your prophet's supposed to be the message of God. It's standing next to your girl. How's that add up?
you got to it yet?
I'm talking about the hadith. I'll show you from the hadith.
Don't show me from the hadith. I know already.
Okay, so you know it. So why are you asking me? What?
Does it say it?
I don't know.
Does it say it, bro?
I said that the hadith. So you must
Is it an Islamic website?
Pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
But like I said, the reference was right there before, so I can get that. I'll tell you exactly what we said.
explain to me how our prophet is the sex behind your girl.
Don't make this stuff up, man. This is in your source.
This is in your sources.
I've asked you one question.
And the reason why it's problematic.
Exactly, I'll say
Are you finished reading? Okay. So the point is, we showed you a hadith where it says Allah comes in a shape, but a shape is a created thing. Would you agree? Shapes are created. It's a faculty of creation.
His God, what do you mean? God definitely have a shape, yes.
God
But we
definitely
don't-
has a
yeah,
shape.
but we don't know what it is. You can't think of it. You can't imagine.
But
It's
is it?
nothing like you can imagine or think of.
Would you agree that shape is a category of creation?
No one created God.
Didn't say that.
So how
Didn't
can-
even suggest
so
that.
Who if no one created God, how can you say the shape is created?
I'm pointing out the logical contradiction of your sources. That's what I'm pointing out to you, bro. The reason why my argument doesn't make sense is because the sources don't make sense.
Not everyone that writes means he's credible.
Right. But this is, can we get the reference there? What reference? Sahih al-Bukhari,
I need to check.
7437.
I need to check.
Now the point is, Allah has a created shape. And a created shape is something that you and I have.
See, when you use the term created,
Yeah.
in Islam is wrong because no one created God.
So, Is shape of the created order? Do you have shape? Does Allah have?
No, big difference.
What?
Big difference.
What? Wait 1 second. What does this word shape mean when it applies to Allah?
We don't know. That's the thing. You're
There
asking
you go.
me something I can't think of.
That's my point, bro. That's what I'm trying to get through to you. Is that you're...
Allah is an entity.
Wait, you're missing the point that I'm making.
You can't say Allah has a shape. Allah
No.
is an entity.
Muhammad said Allah has a shape.
No.
I showed you the
That's not
hadith.
Muhammad. No.
I showed you the hadith.
No, I know,
Who was
I
it?
know.
Who was it? If it wasn't Muhammad, who was it?
I will show you.
Who was it?
It's someone called Ibrahim. It's someone called Abraham, but it's not Muhammad. I'll show you.
No, Abraham was quoting Muhammad. What's a hadith? What's a hadith? Come on, bro. Don't play taqiyya with me. What?
Sometimes it's someone saying,
this is about
quoting the Prophet.
Yes.
It's someone quoting the Prophet.
Let me read it.
Yeah,
Let me read it out
let's
to you.
read it.
On the authority of Abu Hurairah, the people said, "Oh, Allah's messenger, shall we see our Lord?" Allah?
Sorry, who's speaking? Who's the question being addressed to?
The people said, "Oh, Allah's messenger."
Who's Allah's messenger?
Yeah, no, wait.
Shall we see our Lord? Who's our Lord? Allah.
They're asking the Prophet.
All right,
Yes,
about
yes.
their Lord on the day of resurrection. The Prophet said, "Do you have any difficulty?"
Sorry,
in
who
seeing
was speaking?
So this is Muhammad replying back to
Oh,
them
it's Muhammad
about
speaking.
Allah.
Go on.
Do you have any difficulty in seeing the moon on a full moon's night? They said no.
Muhammad's just compared seeing Allah to seeing the moon.
It gets worse. Do you have any difficulty in seeing the sun when there are no clouds? They said
Muhammad's
no.
just compared seeing Allah to seeing the sun.
Here we go. Listen.
That's
Here
what
it is,
Muhammad
here it
just
is,
said.
here it is.
Yeah.
And
You're
they said,
arguing with Muhammad
"Oh,
now."
Allah's messenger." He said, So you will see him like that.
Like that.
Why is Allah being compared to something you say as a
Okay,
shape?
do you want me to answer you?
This is in your
when,
hadith,
when,
Sahih
when they
Bukhari.
when they're gonna say Allah like the sun, it means it's obvious.
No,
It
means
doesn't
that-
mean
he's talking about
no.
form.
See, you're thinking
No,
about the
listen.
shape.
Do you have
You're
any
thinking about the
difficulty in
shape.
seeing
Listen,
It
one
means-
second. He said,
But you're not letting me finish my point.
let him finish and then reply.
Okay, you know when the moon comes out or the sun comes out, you see it. Okay, it's behind the cloud. You can't really see the shape. Let's say if you've never seen the sun before in your life, okay? But you know that's the sun, right? That's not the moon.
Okay.
Is it? Even though you can't directly see it.
It's visually identifiable.
Yeah, it means it's obviously there. That's obviously
And it
the
has
sun.
nothing to do with the form.
No.
Right, so why
Right.
does it say... Go on.
So do you have any difficulty in seeing the moon? Right.
No.
And then it does the same comparison with the sun.
Yeah.
And then it says, so you will see him like that. Why is he talking about in what way? He's saying that
when
the
they
way
say
that you can
like that,
identify
it means obviously you can see him.
Right, you will see him in the
As in
form.
you
But
can
that-
see him clearly. No,
No,
not
but
in the
just
form,
come to the bit about the
you're
shape,
talking
bro,
about-
'cause that's
you're
what it
talking
hinges
about
on.
the shape.
Oh, here we go.
You're
So you will
talking
see
about-
him.
I'm talking
Listen,
about the clarity.
listen to what he's got to say. The bit about the shape.
Whoever worships something in the world should follow that thing, so that whoever worships the sun will follow the sun, whoever worships the moon will follow the moon, and whoever used to worship certain other false deities, they will follow those deities. And sure will remain only the notion with its good people, the hypocrites,
It's the bit that's emboldened in black.
But are you convinced by my point?
bit that's emboldened,
If I
bro.
see you standing at the end of the park and I
Very
can
long,
and I say I
saw
can
it, I
see you
saw
like
it.
the sun, what does that
saw
mean?
it.
It means
Bro,
you're standing out.
bro.
I can see you clearly.
Bro, you had
Doesn't
it.
mean you look
Just
like
find
the
it
sun.
again. Find it again. Take your time. Find it again. Because you did have it. I did read
Anyway,
it.
bro, listen, I've been here for a few.
All right. Bro, what's...
actually
AJ.
It was nice to meet you.
It was really nice to meet you as well. Really lovely
Nice to talk to
conversation.
you.
Brother, can I ask you, do you have a Bible? Do you have a Bible? I'd like to give you a gift. I give everyone I have a nice conversation to a gift. I'd like to give you a Bible.
don't mind.
Could you hold that a minute,
It's a
please?
book of God.
Amen. Amen. And what I would like to say to you, bro, is, right, try to read this Bible apart from everything that Muslims say about it, right?
We don't have anything. See, but you think we have a problem with Christianity. We don't. If anything, Jesus is our prophet.
Yeah.
So we believe in him as much as you do.
I mean, we could get into another debate about a different topic there.
No.
But I don't want to.
We can't not believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
He's our prophet.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my gift to you, AJ. Thank you very much
I'll
for a
read
nice
it,
question.
definitely.
And then come back with your
If you
toughest
have
questions.
If you have a Quran, I would.
I've got 3 or 4 now, but come back with your toughest questions.
I will.
And bring me
One
your
day,
hardest
one day I
questions.
will.
But just to show you, look, it says it right here. Then Allah will appear in such a shape that they can recognize him. That's what your hadith say Muhammad said.
God is an entity. God is an entity.
Agreed.
Okay?
Yeah, well, I would actually
we
say it's
don't know
beyond
what the
entity.
entity is.
I would
We
say
don't-
it's beyond entity.
We don't know the entity.
Yeah,
We don't know what kind of shape it takes.
yeah.
It's nothing like you've imagined or I thought.
But it is a shape.
Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know. That's the thing.
But
You
it is
ask-
a shape.
But there you go. You're asking me something it says I can't think of.
And
or I
that-
can't even
exactly.
imagine.
And my point
I
to
don't
you,
know.
my point to you that I want you to take away is that Islamic revelation is meaningless because you have words that don't mean anything about God.
Everything means. But you know what?
But nothing that you can
have
think
to-
or imagine.
No. But I'm gonna be completely honest with
Yeah.
you. You have to always know that there's a language barrier.
Yes, of course.
Quran is written in Arabic.
I know.
And people try to understand it in English.
Yeah.
They always, because some words have a lot of meaning.
And that's why I always try to use translations given by Arab Muslims.
That's a good point.
All right.
Anyway,
You
take
look
care,
after
man.
yourself,
Have a good
AJ.
day.
Take care. God bless. So, guys, what we heard today is that there is an obvious contradiction within the teachings of Islam. An obvious contradiction, right? In fact, guys. So, Muslims believe that Allah has this attribute called light that limits another attribute called His glory. If Allah can limit one attribute by another attribute, then Muslims have no argument about the idea that God can limit Himself to become a man. Because if in Islamic sources Allah can limit Himself, as we showed, then Muslims have no argument in Christian sources we believe God limits Himself to take to Himself a human nature. And the reality is, Muslims can't have it both ways. They can't say that the veil of light restricts the attribute of Allah's glory while saying that Christians can't believe that God can limit Himself to take on a human nature. But it gets worse. The reality is that because of Islamic teaching that Allah is not like anything that He created, then all of those descriptions of Allah that we find in the hadiths and that we find in the Quran, talking about His eyes, talking about His hand, talking about His feet, talking about His shin, these are all meaningless words. Words that are absolutely devoid of meaning in a book that claims it is clear guidance. The theology of Islam about God is a vacuum, an unknowable God, unknowable because He never interacts with His creation and He only ever sends messengers into that creation. The Christian God, by contrast, interacts with the created world, and that is why we can speak meaningfully of God. How are we doing, guys? I see that what I was saying got a bit of a conversation going.
She was saying how she doesn't
Surah
believe that Allah is
68,
compared in
ayat
terms of body
42
parts.
is on the day when the dreadful calamity will unfold, when people will be summoned to prostrate themselves and yet they will not be able to prostrate.
Have a look.
That has nothing to do with His shins.
So what?
That's
Are you saying-
exactly
are you
what
saying-
told
sorry,
his
Let me
researcher.
Sorry.
because that's not the
Sorry,
correct
bro,
translation.
Right.
sorry, sister.
We only have one translation.
Are you saying that Allah? Are you
That's
saying
it.
that?
Yeah,
Are you
we
saying
do.
that Allah doesn't have a face or a shin or eyes or hands in the
He
Quran?
has.
If He does, but we have not seen it.
Right. So the point that I was making,
Right.
is that the Quran talks about Allah having eyes and shins and hands and
Do you
feet.
know the verses?
Let me explain. Yes, I can show you the verses. Let me explain what my point is, so that we can have an intelligent conversation.
Okay.
That these words, according to Islamic doctrine, are completely meaningless because you don't know what they are, and you can't say what they are, and you can't describe them in any way. In fact, anything that you can think or imagine that they are, they're not by definition. Which means that the Quran is full of meaningless descriptions of Allah.
I still think
Right.
Now, would you like me to still show you the verses? Would you like me to still show you the verses?
Elaborate on your point.
Can I show you this? This is like Quran.com.
Yeah, okay,
So
okay.
68 ayah 42. It says, beware of the day of the shin
Shin.
of Allah will be bared, and the wicked will be asked to prostrate. But
You
they
do
will not be able
realize
to.
that they're
That's in the
not
Quran.
talking about the literal shin of Allah. It's metaphorical.
No,
It's
no,
literally
no.
metaphorical.
You're talking about.
Do you take everything
No,
in the
one
literal
second.
sense?
One second. Guys. Let's try to have an intelligent conversation. It does literally talk about himself. It literally does. So are you saying that Allah doesn't have a shin?
Allah doesn't
We
have
don't
what?
Are you saying Allah
know.
doesn't
don't
have
know.
a shin?
We don't
Shin.
know if he has
A
a
shin.
A shin.
No, a shin, not a chin. Shin.
You know ankle.
Shin.
We
saying
don't
Allah-
know.
He didn't tell us.
So-
we only know what he revealed to us.
So what? So does he have a
this is
shin or not?
We
Describing us.
don't know if he has a shin or not.
So there you go. So hold on one second.
you
That's
listen.
my point that I'm making to
That's
you,
not
madam.
a point,
No, you
sir.
don't even know what my point is.
No,
You haven't
because
even
your
heard
point
my.
doesn't have a
Right, tell me
conclusion
what
to
my
it.
point is, and I'll show you that you're
You're
wrong.
saying something about limiting glory and attributes, and then you're just making something that doesn't have a conclusion.
That was an
At
earlier
all.
point. That's not the point I'm making here.
Okay, what point are you making now?
There
then?
you go. You didn't listen.
Listen.
Right,
I'll
so
listen
you don't
now.
understand my
See?
point.
Do you have a leg?
So now let me. No, stop being rude.
Do you have a
Stop
leg?
being
Okay,
rude.
do you have a leg?
Right. So let me
Do you have a
let me
leg?
address
Yes or
my
no?
point to you, sister.
Do you have a leg? Yes or
So
no?
the Quran
Do you have a leg? Yes or no?
says that Allah has a shin.
Do you have a
right?
leg? Yes or no?
Says he has hands.
Ah,
Says
do
he
you
has
have a shin?
eyes.
Yes
Do you
or no?
realize that
Let me
things can be
finish.
worse?
You're still not
do
listening.
you have a-
You're
do you have
still
a
not
shin, yes or
listening.
no?
Less
Do you have a shin,
emotion,
yes or
more
no?
intellect. It'll help everybody.
Do you have a shin,
Okay?
yes or no?
So
Don't speak to her.
in
I'm here.
terms,
I'm here. Don't
in
speak to
terms
her.
of,
I'm
in terms
speaking
of
to-
how
I'm speaking to
unchivalrous
you.
this
Do you
man
have a
is,
shin?
how
Do you have
unchivalrous
a ring?
and how rude to the woman.
No. Do
You have the
a leg,
right
yes or
to a
no?
conversation. Don't let this bigot try to. Don't let this misogynist.
That is chivalrous.
Right.
He's not being
Right.
misogynistic.
So he's
do you
being
have a
very
leg?
unchivalrous.
No,
So
no,
Allah
listen.
has a shin.
Do you have-
That's what the Quran says. But you've just
It
said.
does- it does, but
You've
it
just
fits
said
his ma-
we
his
don't
mindset.
know
Huh?
what that
Even-
means.
even-
But
yeah,
the
he does,
Quran
he does.
says
He does-
it
he
is
does
clear
have mind all the
guidance.
time.
If you don't know what it means, it's
Because I know
not
what it
clear
means.
guidance.
Right.
That's my point.
In conclusion, when they talk about the shin, they mean it in a
Oh,
metaphorical
notice you're not
sense.
interrupting now.
I
Suddenly it went quiet.
No, because I
Suddenly
spoke
it
to
went
him.
quiet.
No, because I spoke to him.
He just said it is in a literal way.
I agree with it, but you
The
just
word
No, no,
is
I'm
literal.
listening to her.
The
Stop
meaning
being
of the
rude.
whole
I
word
spoke to-
Sorry, go on,
is
sister.
metaphorical. Do you take everything in a literal sense?
Right.
Do you take all sentences in their literal
So-
sense?
so let me address
We
that
don't
point.
know what Allah looks like. We don't know at all. There was one prophet
Yeah.
who got a glimpse of Allah,
Yeah.
and there were mountains that were literally
Destroyed
blown
Moses.
away.
Moses.
Yes.
And Ibn Kathir
We've
said it
never
was because
seen
the
him.
fingertip of Allah touched the mountain. That's what Ibn Kathir
No,
says.
It's not like
That's
our
what Ibn
fingertip.
Kathir.
You have the same
Right.
fingertip as an animal.
But the point is, but the point is, that means that Allah, that means that Allah entered His creation.
Do you have the
That means that Allah entered His creation. That means that Allah entered His creation.
Entered His creation.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
now,
Now.
okay, you
So
answer
my
your
point
question.
is, my point to you is that these descriptions that we find in the Quran are totally meaningless descriptions. They are meaningless words. According to logic.
What logic?
I'll
Whose
explain
logic?
it to you.
My logic is different
If
than
you-
yours.
if you-
Her logic is different
No,
than yours.
logic is
Everyone-
universal.
No, what do you mean?
No,
It's not
logic
the
is
same?
universal.
No, it's not universal.
Let's do this
Ah,
like
it's not
intelligent
universal.
people.
Okay, give me
Less
an example.
emotion.
Let me give me an example.
Less
Give me
emotion,
an example.
less
I
emotion,
need to-
more
give me an
intellect.
example.
Less
Give me an
emotion,
example.
more intellect.
Give me an example.
Okay, I'm going to give you an example.
Okay, give me an
I'm
example.
going to give you an example.
Okay.
Okay?
What's
Your
it?
Quran that we just
no,
read.
No, the Quran.
No, you
said
don't
that
get
the
to.
common
No,
sense is,
you
huh?
don't
You
get.
just said,
No.
what
No.
do you mean no?
No.
What do you mean no?
You don't get to
already talked
dictate
about
the
the ayah,
example.
And you didn't tell me what to do.
You don't get to
Ah,
dictate the
and you
example.
didn't- And you didn't tell me what to do.
You just tried to do it to me. Practice what you preach.
No.
Now, as I was saying,
What you saying?
your Quran states that Allah has a shin.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Okay, one second. Okay. Now, do you have a shin? Yes or no?
I have a shin, yes.
Okay. An animal have a shin? Yes or no?
Many animals have a shin.
Does it look alike?
No, they don't.
Okay. Allah has a shin, but it's not like we've seen. We never
Okay.
seen it.
So,
Right?
one second.
Huh?
It's a special shin. It's a special
We
shin,
don't have-
but
we
it
haven't
sits in the
seen-
category of shins.
Huh?
That's the point. It's a
Exactly,
type
he has
of
a
shin.
hand. He has a hand.
You see, you're not
but
even
we don't
following
know.
the logic.
We don't
You're not even following the logic. You're too
What?
emotional. Calm down.
I'm
Drink
down,
less
I'm down.
coffee.
You calm down.
Don't get
I'm down.
excited. There's
I'm
nothing
chill.
to be afraid of.
I'm not afraid.
This is just a
Do I
nice
look afraid
conversation.
to you?
Yes, you do. You're shivering.
No, he-
Now, let me explain, bro. What you did just then on camera is what you did is you created a category of shin, and then you put two animal shins in that category and then Allah's shin in that category, and you said
Are you
that
an
they
animal?
just don't
Are you an
look
animal?
alike.
He said that I just.
Did you all hear? Did you follow the logic? Did you follow the logic?
I didn't say two animals.
Right.
I
Yes,
said,
you
do
did.
You have an animal?
Yes, you did.
No, I compare
So-
you with an animal.
so-
I didn't say two
So
animals.
shin
I didn't say
is a
two animals.
category.
I
Do I have a shin?
Of course you do.
Does a cow have a shin?
Of course you do.
Does Allah have a shin?
Allah has it, but it's not like.
There you
what
go.
said.
Allah has the category of shin. He shares that category with created things.
There's a contradiction in your Quran.
It's not.
Right. So what is the shin? What is the shin of Allah?
That's what I'm saying.
We don't know.
We don't know everything. We know what He revealed to us.
So the word is meaningless
What do you mean it's meaningless?
because it doesn't communicate anything.
No, because we don't know how.
What does
how
it
big
communicate?
Huh?
What does it communicate?
What do you mean?
What? So I'll explain exactly what I mean. I am saying that if you devoid the word shin entirely and completely of all conceivable meaning, then the word shin is equivalent to the word blah. It is a blah. So saying that Allah has a shin is the equivalent of saying Allah has a blah if the word shin doesn't mean
Who
anything.
believe God came from a private part
So
of
answer
God?
that question.
Do you want
Answer
the
that
common
question.
sense? Do you want of God?
This guy's obsessed with genitalia.
Common sense.
This guy's obsessed with genitalia.